This is Nick Blackshaw on behalf of Skerritt Media interviewing Mr. Colin Baker with regards to Menston Green. How did you become involved with Menston Green, and what attracted you to the production?
Well, I became involved with Menston Green when I got an email from my agent saying a young man in Leeds had, I didn't know he was a young man then, a man in Leeds had approached him and asked me if I was interested in doing this script. And I asked to see the script, and I read it, and I thought it was entertaining and different and looked like fun to do. And the recording schedule enabled me to, because I'm currently doing a play on tour, so the schedule allowed me to come up to Leeds and do it on a Sunday. So up I popped, and I've had a very pleasant day here with lots of people I've never met before, including the very talented writer, author, director, tea maker, juggler, young person impressionist, Alex Skerritt, who has a great future in front of him. I nearly said behind him, didn't I? It was like his script, humorous. No, it's been great fun to do. It's a good setup here, and we've had a lovely morning. What
can you tell listeners about your character then, Mr. Cutler?
Well, I'm not going to tell you too much about Mr. Cutler. You've got to listen to the programme. But Mr. Cutler is the producer of a TV series which is a popular soap, or perhaps it's not popular enough soap. It's slipping in the ratings a bit, and things have to happen, and he appoints somebody else as a producer, and is then elevated himself to the head of series, serials and rodeos, that interesting ironic title, and he waits to see if the new producer can stay on the bucking bronco, basically. And the way that the story unfolds is very humorous. Tell me everything you know about producing, Dale.
Me, sir, zero.
Ah, that's spiffing. Brain free from clutter, I shouldn't wonder.
I can assure you, there's nothing in there at all.
Excellent. Here we are.
Where, sir?
The cutting room.
Next question then. So, as someone with a background doing sort of offbeat cult programmes such as Doctor Who, Blake Seven, Jonathan Creek, that kind of thing, do you actively look for projects that have that sort of cult flavour to them then? No. I'm afraid they come to me. Well, am I afraid? No, I'm not afraid. But they come to me. Once you are deemed to be a cult, you tend to move in cult territory. Yes.
So things that are offbeat, off-the-wall sci-fi, fantasy, push the boundaries of imagination, tend to come in my direction. It's quite nice to do something comedic for a change.
Yes. And then, for want of a better phrase, I pondered about this statement, but we'll go with it anyway. So, as an elder statesman of sort of cult programmes, so how do you feel about the current state of cult programming across sort of TV and radio and so forth?
I'm envious. I am so envious. When I was doing Doctor Who in the mid-80s, it was really... The BBC was not proud of having Doctor Who on the airwaves because sci-fi and fantasy were a little bit embarrassing. Yes, it was successful, but oh dear, it's not proper drama, it's not the Wednesday play. And then suddenly we've had a spate of programmes like Life on Mars and the one where Nicholas Lyndhurst travels backwards and forwards from the war and back.
Goodnight, Sweetheart.
Goodnight, Sweetheart. All of them involving a fantasy or sci-fi element.
Yes.
And suddenly they're mainstream. And suddenly Doctor Who has been allowed to become mainstream as well. So the kind of attention and pride that is lavished on those programmes now didn't exist in the 80s. And I'm very envious, but thank goodness, because it's all drama. And for heaven's sake, it's all about the imagination, whether it's Coronation Street or whether it's Life on Mars or Doctor Who. It's one person's imagination and putting people into a situation that is entertaining to watch. Sci-fi and fantasy have now become kind of acceptable. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Absolutely.
But pray, what is this? All the staff members have been transformed into the Walking Dead. Zombies, one might say. This is indeed a set. At least the green operative drones are still functioning. They shall save me from this minor predicament.
Meltdown initiated.
Nay, this cannot be. The drones are being ripped apart by the zombies. They are evidently inferior.
What? No! Cut!
Keep going!
My robots! They're good robots!
I have no choice now. I must evacuate. Now, where's my risk communicator?
That's not a line!
Be quiet. This is my last episode. I'll say what I want.
Final question from me then, Colin, is would you consider Menston Green to be in league with all these sort of other cult programmes that are out there at the moment?
Well, maybe we don't want to be a cult. I mean, because cult does imply that it's a minority of viewers that enjoy it. That is kind of goes hand in hand with being a cult. Whereas I think this is good enough to be mainstream. I think, mainstream radio would benefit from having something like this. There's a lot of comedy on radio at the moment.
Yes.
Some of it's a bit out on a limb. Some of it I've struggled to understand. I think this could become a bridge between cult and mainstream.
Absolutely,
so
and
I'd vote for that.
Yeah, there are other programmes out there, such as like the League of Gentlemen and
Yes.
Little Britain, that have their footing in radio to begin with, and then they've made that transition.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, I feel there is a future for Menston Green there.
There you
Colin
are.
Baker.
Let's see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.